y'all. Listen, Happy New Year, y'all. Happy New Year. We're actually in 2026, which is crazy, okay? Crazy, but happy Thursday. I hope y'all had, if y'all hung out last night, I hope y'all had fun. I was right here in my house, washing my hair, doing some self-care stuff, and just had a good old time with self, okay? But listen, Happy New Year, y'all, and I hope this year brings you everything that you want and wish for. But in the meantime, y'all know we got to continue this party. We got to do like we always do. It's trending topics time. And the title is called Mind Your Business. Mind your business. You know, it's interesting to me when public figures want us to mind our business. They want us to be in the business when they're trying to sell something. They want us to be in the business when they're trying to push an agenda. They want us to be in the business when they're trying to grow their platform. But then when we got an opinion about something and they don't like our opinion, they tell us to mind our business. But you know what? In trending topics, we don't mind our business because our business is to talk about the trending topics. So that's what we're here to do. So one of the titles tonight is Oprah. You know, Oprah struggled with her weight. She said pretty much her whole life. And once these GLP-1 drugs came out to help, people manage their weight and lose weight, she was excited. So she's on those particular drugs. She's not hiding it. She says she knows she's going to be on it for the rest of her life because when she did try to come off, the weight started to creep back up again. She said now she exercises more. She feels the best she has ever felt in her life, and she's okay with being on a GLP-1 drug forever. Well, listen, she's 72. I'm not here to judge anybody. Do what you want to do. I personally don't want to take it, but I personally do understand the weight struggle. It's real. It's brutal. It's a thing. Okay? And sometimes you could be eating, you feel like you eating right, you doing everything right, you drinking your water, you exercising, you get on the scale, and you like, what? Everybody got a goal, and you got to find your way to that goal. Her way is the GLP-1 drugs. So we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant is recently got married. I think they might be 2 years in. So they was at a gala to raise money. And, he's a pastor. So his wife is a first lady. And so the dress that his wife wore to this gala, many people had issues with it because they said she's the first lady and you shouldn't be dressing like that as a first lady. Because in people's minds, they have an image of what a first lady should look like and how she should dress. Remember, a lot of people was getting on Megan Good because her first husband was a pastor. And they had issues with the way she was dressing because they said she's a first lady and she shouldn't be dressing like that. Well, I think what's his name, Pastor Dion? Megan Good's ex-husband. He didn't really take up for her that much, but Jamal Bryant, he's standing his ground. He told y'all, mind your business. I bought the dress for my wife. I ain't have no problem with my wife wearing the dress. And what y'all need to be talking about is how much money we raised and not what she wore. We're going to have a discussion about it. And then there's this school board member that's under fire. He said that all blacks is rude and nasty. Good God Almighty. He said all of them are rude and nasty. So the people are outraged. They want him fired. But you just can't fire somebody that was voted in. So it's a hot, stinking, nasty, filthy mess. It saddens me that now I can say in 2026 that we're still dealing with this racism thing. It's very, very sad. It's super sad. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. I mean, it shocks me and it doesn't shock me at the same time. But literally, I always just think to myself, really, just because the color of our skin, we are viewed a certain way. It's very sad. I saw a documentary the other day. I love documentaries and I love movies that are based on true stories. That's just my thing, right? So I had saw this documentary the other day that was interesting. No, Miss Diva, wait, hold on one second. Wait. No, Miss Diva, I have to disagree on this one. He said 80% of them are fine and he has no problem. He said 20% of them have been rude. That's what he said. Okay, well, okay, I got it. Maybe I got a little twisted. He said 20% of them, but really, if see, it's still nasty, right? Because at the end of the day, can't we say 20% of every race is rude and nasty? I just showed a video the other day where the woman at the Cinnabon had it. Said she said, "I'm racist." So I don't care if you black, white, yellow, orange. I don't care if you heterosexual, you gay, or what, you part of whatever. I don't care if you're a priest. I don't care if you are a doctor, a lawyer, a psychiatrist. In every single area of life, no matter what you look like, there's going to be some people that's nice and there's going to be some people that's rude. But why do they always have to point out that black people are nasty? There's nasty people in every group. I did a ton of cop stories over here. Darn near none of them was black, and they've been rude and nasty to people. So it's messy. But we're going to talk about it. And so anyway, let me get back to this documentary before I bring the people in the building. I saw this documentary where matter of fact, the guy, I want to say the guy was part of the Black Mafia family, and he went to jail. He has since come out and turned his life around. But he said the way that projects are built, and I never thought about it until he said it, because he grew up in the projects in New York. He said the way the projects are built, he said they're built like prisons. I said, isn't that interesting? He said they're built like prisons, so that if you go from the projects to the prison, it's going to be some similarities to you. And I thought about it, and I said, good God, she is right. He said when you go to a lot of projects, the door that go into the building is very heavy. It's like steel, just like a prison. He said, then you go through the next door, and it's this very heavy steel door. The walls are usually like this, made out of this material, like the layered tile, like that's very cold. And the door to your apartment in the projects is like this heavy steel door. So when it opens and slams, it's a distinct sound. He said it's the same sound that you hear when you're in prison. And I said, good gosh almighty. He said in the projects, on the windows, they have the bars, like, depending upon like what floor you're on, like they have these bars on your windows, and they saying this to keep the people safe so that, your kids or whatever won't fall out the window. But he said, but what would be the difference when you go to a regular apartment building and there's several floors? They don't got bars on those windows. Anyway, I'll get more into that documentary another time, but it was very enlightening. And all I said to myself was, yikes and oh my. So it's time for me to bring the people on in the building. Okay, so y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Thursday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Mind Your Business, okay? Oprah talks. She wrote a book with somebody to talk about obesity and weight struggles and the GLP-1 drugs. We got Jamal Bryant saying, mind your business. My wife can wherever she wants. As long as I'm good with it, she married to me. So it is what it is, okay? And then we got this school board member under fire talking about the black people that's rude and nasty. We're going to bring the people on in the building. Hold on now. Hey, Savannah. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva, choo-choo.
Hey, Julius. Hey,
Hey,
Lane.
hit the like button for the Diva.
Hey, Katrina. Hey, Callie. Yes,
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat, chew, chew, chew.
Choo. Listen, I'm going to get the name of the documentary. It's a Black Mafia family. I want to say I saw it on Prime, and it's named after the guy who actually went to jail and came out. I'm gonna get it and I'll put it on my community page. But I'm telling you, it was an excellent, really good documentary. All right. So anyway, guys, it wasn't about Big Meech. It was the other guy that was the driver. It was the driver. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go right into the Oprah story. Let's talk Oprah, okay? In these GLP-1 drugs. Let me share the screen. And she wrote a book. Oprah opens up about obesity, GLP-1 drugs, and her healthy new life. I never felt stronger, is what she is saying. Hold on one second. In People's new cover story, the icon who's turning 72, God bless Oprah, and has co-written a new book on obesity, shares her past struggles and what life is like now on weight loss drugs. Makeup free and still in loungewear as she joins a morning Zoom call from her hotel room in Australia. Oprah Winfrey is describing her recently consumed breakfast. I just had a croissant and I ate the full thing. Not long ago, she explains, a buttery indulgence would have been an all-day obsession. I would have been thinking, how many calories in that croissant? How long is it going to take me to work it off? If I have the croissant, I won't be able to have dinner. I still be thinking about that damn croissant. This morning, however, she is blissfully unbothered. I felt nothing. The only thing I thought was, I need to clean up these crumbs. The insignificance of her breakfast is a monumental shift for Winfrey, who 2.5 years ago started using a GL1P weight loss medication. She began taking the drug following an aha moment of understanding that she suffers from obesity and that she can't fight it without help. I thought it was about discipline and willpower, but I stopped blaming myself, says Winfrey, who shares her journey in a new book with obesity expert Dr. Anna M. Jastroboff, Enough, Your Health, Your Weight, and What It's Like to Be Free, out January 13th. I feel more alive and more vibrant than I have ever been. And that's the book right there, the cover. Her new outlook in the medication has utterly transformed her life, she says. As she approaches her 72nd birthday on January 29th, Winfrey has gone from someone she saw exercise as a punishment to happily sign planking and deadlifting. She also stopped drinking alcohol. Once I could outdrink everyone at the table, she notes with a laugh, and is amazed that she's satisfied after she eats. I'm not constantly punishing myself, she says. I hardly recognize the woman I become, but she's a happy woman. And there's Oprah. Winfrey's weight has been the subject of public curiosity and tabloid fodder for more than 4 decades. Ever since she starred in 1985's The Color Purple and took her infamous talk show into national syndication the following year. Some of the cruelest headlines are still fresh in her mind. Oprah fatter than ever. Oprah warned, diet or die. Her ups and downs were a regular punchline on late night talk shows, starting with the first appearance on The Tonight Show in 1985, when she was goaded into agreeing to lose 15 pounds by host Joan Rivers. As she built a media empire and rose to one-name star status, Winfrey remained painfully aware there was one aspect of her life that seemed out of control. I've always been confident in whatever I was doing, but I was at the same time disappointed in my overweight body, she says. Was I embarrassed by it? Yes. Was I disappointed in myself for continuing to fail? Yes. Every single time. I felt it was my fault. And failure, she writes, felt doubtfully shameful because I have access to so much chefs and trainers and the healthiest of foods. At the same time, she was navigating the public humiliation. She was also contributing to the culture of weight shame, as she now admits. She spent 4 months in 1988 eating no solid food and ingesting shakes before appearing on her show, pulling a wagon filled with 67 pounds of fat to demonstrate how much she lost. all to prove I could get back into a pair of size 10 Calvin Klein jeans, she writes. And she doubtfully dropped 20 pounds when Vogue editor Anna Wintour suggested doing so before posing for a cover in 1998. I was just doing what the rest of the world was doing, she says. I thought I had proven that I had willpower. And that was in 1988. I remember that show. No matter what the diet or exercise routine Winfrey took on, her body seemed to want to fight back, and her weight was stubbornly returned to 211 pounds, a concept her co-author calls your body's enough point, a set weight your body maintains based on environment and genetics. Knee surgery in 2021 allowed her to get back on her feet without pain, and she began hiking daily and eating a single midday meal. But even after taking on 10-mile hikes, she discovered she gained 8 pounds. I couldn't believe it. My body said, we're trying to get back to 211, girl. We're trying to get you. Over the years, Winfrey tried to embrace her bigger body. I wanted to be one of those people who could be at peace with myself being overweight, she says. But everything in my life, in the culture, in society, in my brain was telling me the opposite. You have failed because you have not conquered this thing. And she says, I was not healthy at 211 pounds. A lot of people tell me they could be overweight and healthy. I was not. I was pre-diabetic and my cholesterol numbers were high. When Winfrey hosted a special on obesity in 2023 with experts in the field, she had an epiphany. For years, I avoided the word obesity. It connoted out of control, she says. But I came to understand that overeating doesn't cause obesity. Obesity causes overeating. And that's the most mind-blowing freeing thing I experienced as an adult. She heard about GL1P medications a few years earlier, but dismissed them, still believing her weight was my responsibility to fix. But the revelation that obesity is a disease changed her mind. Having a medical solution felt like a relief, a gift, Winfrey told People in 2023, when she first announced she was taking the drugs. Despite that, the only months after she started the injections, she decided to stop for a time in early 2024. She continued to eat healthy and work out, but put on weight. Now she knows the drugs will be a lifetime thing. Winfrey calls the medication a tool to help you manage the messages that are being sent to your brain about overeating. Typically, she takes her shots weekly, but sometimes I can go 10 or 12 days because I still feel the effects of the week before, she says. Side effects have been minimal. I had some digestion issues, so I have to drink enough water and I have to take magnesium, she says. You need to start slow and gradual. If you start by taking too much at one time, you have more of a chance of messing yourself up. The drugs have helped her keep weight off, but she says it's now more than the number. In years past, she said her goal was 160 pounds, but she declines to share her current weight. The absence of food noise has given me a quiet strength that comes with everything I do. Everything is just calmer and stronger. It's been such an important life change for that. For that, she's paid out of her own pocket for GL1P medication for several acquaintances who couldn't otherwise afford it. If you have obesity in your gene pool, I want people to know it's not your fault, Winfrey says. I want people to stop blaming yourself for genes in an environment you can't control. I want people to have the information, whatever you choose to do with it, whether you get the medications or whether you want to keep dieting. Her own relationships, including her longtime partner, Stedman Graham, 74, who has been nothing but supported no matter what her weight, have improved as well. I feel like I have more to give to everybody. I'm just more open to all. Another unexpected effect of the medication and indifference to alcohol. I was a big fan of tequila. I literally had 17 shots one night, she says. I haven't had a drink in years. The fact that I no longer even have the desire for it is pretty amazing. She also had a change of heart about exercise. She works out 6 days a week for about 2 hours, hiking or doing cardio or resistance training. I don't recognize a person who feels sluggish when she doesn't work out, she says. Her hairstylist of more than a decade, Nicole, agrees. When I come in the mornings to start her hair, she's already on the treadmill, she says. She's looking better than she's ever looked and more confident. It's magnetic. That's especially evident in her newfound comfort and having fun with fashion. her hairdresser says. When she goes shopping, she'll come back and do a little fashion show. On her recent trip to Australia in December, her stylist suggested she wear only Australian designers. The thought of that would have sent me into a shame spiral 10 years ago, Winfrey says. Nothing could fit, and I would have to get myself measured. I would not be able to pull clothes off the rack and wear them. For this trip, dressing was a delight. When Winfrey comes across photos of herself over the years at sizes big and small, she is immediately transported. I can tell you in any picture that pops up what was going on with my weight. It's all about the weight for me. But even with what she now knows about obesity, she says she wouldn't change a thing about her past. There's a wonderful African American spiritual that Maya Angelou used to sing. I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now, she says, breaking into a song herself. In spite of the shaming and blaming myself, I wouldn't take nothing for the journey. Whatever is happening needed to happen to get me to this point. And I rejoice at feeling liberated from the struggle because I had a real public struggle and I'm healthier now. So she wrote a book. I don't know if you're going to go out there and buy it. Savannah, your thoughts?
No, I'm not going to buy it. I gotta say with Oprah, she looks great for being in her 70s.
Mhm.
And I think this was however means that she used to take the weight off. I think this was actually a blessing in disguise for Oprah. I think people that are on these injections are slowly starting to figure out that they are going to have to be on them for life if they want to maintain this smaller frame or less weight on them, because that's all I'm hearing is once they stop using these injections that the weight is coming back on, and then sometimes it's more than what they started to begin with. So and then when you have celebrities like Serena Williams and her husband's company that are making it less affordable to have these injections available, more and more people are going to be subscribing to it and using it. I'm not necessarily looking down on them. I've also thought about using them. Here we are in January. Most of people's New Year resolution is to work out, eat better, be better, and have these goals where they start to feel some type of manageable change in their life, whether it's personally or professionally. It's January is when we start looking and reassessing on what needs to change and how we can do better, whether it's eating better, cleaner, and being healthier. And I think that's the conversation that should be had by these celebrities. But if these injections are going to be out and they're highly popular, I know a couple of my friends in my friend group do use them, and they look amazing. I think that modern medicine needs to start looking at the long-term effects on being on these injections. What is it going to cost if you physically or mentally with your, to your body? How's it going to affect your organs, your overall health if you're on these injections for life? So, and I can recall when we did this story for Oprah, she wasn't transparent on how she lost the weight. I think it was the pressures of the public and letting her know she lost that, hey, we're not dumb. We know you lost that weight by injection. And I can recall something with Weight Watchers too, her being the ambassador. And she shouldn't have lied to the public or being deceptive to begin with. But I applaud her. I think she looks great. And I don't buy that she's on the treadmill for 2 hours a day. I think she does do exercise.
Right.
I see her working out all the time, but I don't think you're doing 2 hours, Oprah. But no, kudos to her. And I just think we need more research on if we're going to be using these injections for for the remainder of life, what's the cost to your health?
Yeah, again, I know a lot of people that are on them, and I have no judgment. I just say this. There's a lot of research out there already, Savannah, that they're suppressing because the dollar that they're making is greater than anything else that they want to tell you about and suppress. But with most medications, if I be honest with you, whether you need a medication because you're a diabetic, you got high blood pressure or whatever, most medication is never designed for you to get off. Medication, usually once you get a medication, you're probably going to be on it for life, unless you yourself start to do some research and really change your eating habits and what you're eating in order to get off said medication. But usually when people are on medications, they just have to up the dose, and some of them are they're on 2 blood pressure medications versus 1 now because their body has got accommodated to it or whatever. But these weight loss drugs, they are wreaking havoc on the body. They're suppressing all of the information because the greater dollar is bigger. And some people are just down outright. They're almost skin and bones now. And it's like, what do you do in that situation? But in my opinion, your thoughts?
So I don't have a problem with Oprah using the GLP-1. My problem with her was she was advertising Weight Watchers at the time and didn't acknowledge that she was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when people make the waters murky, and that's exactly what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't acknowledge that she was doing this until after she got the backlash and she was called out for it. And then she came out and said, yes, she was using it. I feel like this is your choice, but you shouldn't enter into this without a doctor's knowledge of what you're doing. Because on one end, while people are telling you, hey, you're going to lose weight on it, this is a drug that's bringing your blood pressure down. That's, that you shouldn't take unless you're medically cleared to do it. So, also, I don't like that they was using this as a way to bring in money. They started issuing out this drug to a point where people that needed it to live life could not get this drug. They also made it muddy. I just really don't like, the whole premises about it, because there are people that are not obese that is using it in vain. And that's where we get in the sickening of these people being ultra skinny and stuff like that. Like, I just really feel like if you're struggling and you can't, and your doctor says, okay, that's fine. But these people that are just using it just to be tiny for no odd reason is really pissing me off, because y'all are now making this water murky.
Thank you. In my opinion, Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. Um, like you said, people can do what they want to do with their bodies. They can do whatever they want to do with their life. If they want to take this medicine, go ahead and take it. But just because I know sometimes, some of the medicine, what I was reading, it helps with sleep apnea, it helps with heart disease. It got a lot of benefits, but it has a lot of disbenefits. So it's either or. It might play against this, it might work with that, but it is knocking something else's out. And you got to be careful about now who's endorsing this medicine. Trump. I don't want nothing he endorsing. Because, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. He trying to put his name on the medicine, too, now. I don't want nothing he endorsing. He endorsing it, something is not right with it. But, to each his own. Good luck, Oprah. Now you look like a little walking head. But you good. I'm happy. I'm happy you lost weight. That's her, that's what she feels. She says she's beautiful now whatsoever. Okay, we get it. But then, the thing of it, Diva, if you lost weight without this medication before, what make you think you can't lose weight without it again? And you got down to, you say you want to get in size 10, you lost the weight without the medication. And I know she's saying that, she take this medication and all that. She said she takes 17 shots of alcohol one night. You need to be in a rehab. But anyway, good luck, Oprah. Nope, I'm not buying the book. You're rich enough, you should get a book away for free. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't bought a book either because she already told enough right there. But I like to think that science has come far enough that they have progressed into medicines that help people overweight. Tell it to somebody that's 500 pounds
Mm-hmm.
and got to lose weight and they have to use this drug. It's okay. You may want to call it the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it's something there. Some people suffer with that and can't lose nothing, and they and times past didn't have anything. The same way, like the what is it, the gastric bypass. Okay, yeah, it's dangerous. There's a lot of flack people got from that. But when you 500-600 pounds or something, what else is left? Okay, and it may be some backlashes, but it's 70 and you got money and you going to the doctor, and if anything is going wrong, they can find out ahead of time. What, she in the fourth quarter of life? I know people look up to Oprah, but that's your fault if you look up to Oprah and she does something you don't think she should do, or you think she covered up something or whatever. That's your fault, ain't hers. If you think she wasn't transferring about her weight, that's your problem, not hers. So I think she got the money. She's happy in her last quarter of life, if you want to call it that. She's happy. Do you, Oprah?
All right now. Julius, your thoughts?
I don't see no issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the other side, I've seen the benefit of this medication work, but with strict doctor supervision. I want to be clear, strict doctor supervision. That is key. And it is, like a lifelong maintaining thing. But at the same time, some folks just take it just to participate in a trend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I have seen, especially in Hollywood. So, I mean, she did it. She should have just said, "Look, I'm taking these shots. That's how I dropped the weight. It wasn't just Weight Watchers alone. This is how I've been doing it too. Um, yeah, I did it.
Thank you,
Do it. Yeah.
Julius. Mm-hmm. Callie, your thoughts?
Now, I did clock some things in her statement that are not quite adding up because it sounds like when you gained that weight back, you was just going on walks and you wasn't really working out. And that's probably why you gained that 7 pounds. It wasn't because you needed this drug. But if this lady's 70 something years old, if this what she want to do, that's fine. Do I believe that this stuff is safe? No, at all. I don't believe so at all. I believe, like Wayne said, this would be something if you are so obese that your life is in danger anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, lesser of two evils. Do I think that it is worth the risk for someone who probably just needed to lose like 50 pounds? Probably not. You probably could have just went to the gym and stopped drinking and stopped eating all those carbs. And I know I'm trying to lose a little weight myself. It can be hard, but the thing is, she's kind of making, this is where she always loses me with this. She's making it seem like this is something that's just happening to her and it's just out of her control. No, you stopped working out as much and you were still eating carbs. This is not just happening to you, and it's not, you know what I mean? That has always
I
been
do.
my whole issue with her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as, I mean, you got to understand, she's in the entertainment industry. She's one of the very few women who have been um, plus size that have been successful in that industry. They want those women to be thin, and they don't. And they got a little quiet about it because people were getting eating disorders. But as a rule of thumb, typically, if you're going to work in that industry, they want you to be thin. That's just what it is. So I mean, if it works for her, it works for her. But again, I'm still clocking that some of these things are still a bit dishonest. And I actually don't believe this stuff is all that safe. I wouldn't take it.
Yeah, thank you, Callie. Listen, I agree. If you're at the 500-pound mark, 300-pound mark, in take it, right? Because something's going to get you. So you might as well go ahead and take the risk of the medication and see how it helps you. What I didn't like, this is just my personal opinion, and I'm coming to you 48. What I didn't like is she said, obesity is what causes you to overeat, not overeating causes obesity. And I'm like, girl, Oprah, and this diet expert that she supposedly wrote this book with, y'all signed off on that? Like, we have got to stop. And listen, because me myself over here, the struggle is real when you're trying to lose weight. And at a certain age, it don't come off easy. I'll say up until like 45, it was a no thing for me. I go to the gym, I do some squats, I do what I do, and I'm back in whatever I was my size that I love. Honey, now I'm squatting, jumping, running, turning over, and I'm like, what the heck? But I'm not, this is, and again, no judgment for anybody out there that's taking it. But I said, nah, I even had to tell the doctor, stop trying to push that med on me. Because now they sell it like candy in the doctor's office. Their answer right away is Wegovy, Ozempic, or whatever weight loss medication is out there.
Zipbound.
But what happened to the day when they would tell you, they used to prescribe to you, go home, exercise, and eat right, and come back and let me know how that goes, and then we'll talk again. 48, your thoughts?
Happy New Year, Diva panel chat. Me personally, I'm over Oprah. Like, I've been over Miss Winfrey. I'm definitely not buying the book. I might send it to you, Diva, so you could put it back there with Jada's book. But we've heard about her, like, it's always been her weight. It's just, I'm just overhearing about that with her. And I think Kat said it before, like, she was dishonest about her journey even back then. And to me, it's just, of course, she wants to make money. She's writing a book, but it's like she's endorsing this is all it is to me. Like, they offered her a big enough check where she can come out and just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll tell everybody that I'm taking this drug to lose weight. I'm just over Oprah.
Yeah, I hear you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. I wish you peace, prosperity, and purpose this year. Oprah's happiness has been on the front lines of the American public for over 4 decades. And I'm sick of her shit. I'm done with her. She wasn't happy 40 years ago. She got into size 10 jeans, but hey, I had to lose all this weight. I think she was on that. What's that guy's name? His shakes. I forget his name. He passed away. Dick Gregory. The Dick Gregory shit. And then she lost all her hair and she lost muscle fat. And then she didn't want to be married. She wanted to get married. And then she was eating frozen bread out of the freezer and she couldn't control her appetite. The only thing that she said here in this piece that caught my attention is that she's a recovering alcoholic. So I guess that's the next piece. So as she exits in the 4th quarter of her life, she's now going to tell us all about her drinking problems, how she drank people up under the table, up over the table, how, what's his name? The boyfriend had to carry her home many times. Anything to stay in the forefront, to be relevant, to misdirect, to misguide. It's embarrassing at this point. 211 pounds ain't no big damn deal. It's a big deal if you want to wear a size 4 dress and they're not making it in your size. So she wants to go places and she wants to be in front of the camera and she wants to believe that she looks really, really good and everybody's happy with her. So she's happy. I thought she got to a point in her life where she knew that she was more than enough. And she is still not there. Still not there. And I'm done with her. I will not buy her book. I don't want to see her skinny ass, her fat ass. I don't want to see her social media. I'm so sorry I heard you read 2 pages of her BS today. I'm done.
I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I think that's the sad part for me too, to be honest with you. At 72, and you still at the all you achieved, you think about your weight. I'm thinking about how you was up on that talk show at a time where most people couldn't even get a talk show that looked like you. Be proud of that. You did the darn thing. Exactly. You was that girl. And all you thinking about is the weight. When do we really rise up? The book need to be written about how to love thyself. So
exactly, Diva. She's 72 years old. I'm sorry, baby. She's 72 years old. You got a man and you wealthy. Child, please go sit down.
Please and thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and roll into this next story because Jamal Bryant telling us to mind our business. He said, mind your business. Jamal Bryant responds to the dress criticism during a church service. See, you know what? Here's the thing, too. I feel like nobody's ready anymore. You the pastor in the pulpit, and you using that moment to address the people that are criticizing your wife about what she wore. Now, listen, we can say a lot about Beyonce and Jay-Z, but you know what? They need to write the book for these people because they respond to nothing. Now, her mother, the mama, she gets in her feels and she'll be out here going on her Instagram and saying stuff. But you don't rarely ever catch Beyonce or Jay-Z responding to the shenanigans. And that's what I'm talking about. They need to let these people know how to handle the social media and the criticism. Yes, I'm 50 gold. They give it dust, okay? And here you are, a whole pastor, and you don't know how to not respond to the criticism. After critics questioned Dr. Karri Turner's outfit, Bryant made it clear he brought the dress, approved it, and says its outside opinions don't matter. No, they do matter because you responded. So this is the dress that she wore to a benefit gala. These dresses have the illusion of being see-through, but they're not because the backing behind the clear pieces it's like a backing that is really not, see-through. When commentary about a dress turned into a referendum on modesty, marriage, and ministry, Pastor Jamal Bryant had a direct response. He said, mind your business. The pastor publicly defended his wife, Dr. Karri Turner, after online critics took issue with a dress she wore to a gala-style event. Bryant said he purchased the dress himself, liked how it looked, and reminded commenters that Turner is married to him, not to the internet. In short, their opinions were irrelevant as long as he was happy with his wife's attire. Wear your dress, Karri Bryant said in his defense, underscoring his support and shutting down the criticism. Bryant's comments came from the pulpit during a recent New Year's Eve service at New Birth Ministry Baptist Church on Wednesday, December the 31st. Addressing the controversy directly during the service, he defended his wife's choice of attire. He dismissed the online criticism, reiterating that he purchased the dress and approved it. The following day, Bryant shared a clip of the moment on his Instagram account. Using the caption to pivot from the dress discourse, the broader issues, he said, deserve greater attention. The dress issue was dealt with last night, he wrote, before calling for focus on Black unemployment, protections for undocumented people, healthcare access for underserved communities, and higher education. He also noted the outcomes of the service, adding that more than 100 people were saved and over 1,000 children participated in the church youth program, closing with, "It's up from here." Let's take a listen.
I needed to get this straight. I needed to deal with it head on because the other day the internet went crazy about a dress my wife had on. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. They never said anything about this was the largest fundraiser for HBCUs in the country. But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded people got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress. Now, you got to help some people because some people have embraced the full knowledge of ignorance without any assistance for understanding. The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh color. But because you ain't never been nowhere and ain't never been exposed to nothing, I needed to set the record straight. Y'all don't like this. I need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. And I like it. I don't care whether you like it or not. She ain't mad to y'all. She mad to me.
The controversy centered on a gown with a new color lining that some viewers mistook for being sheer or inappropriate for a pastor's wife. The outfit was worn to a formal event, not a church service, but the moment quickly sparked a broader online debate about modesty, expectations placed on church leaders' spouses, and the line between judgment and accountability. It flipped over to, hold on. I want to show you. I'll come back to it. 1 second. Those expectations, while widely discussed, are far from universal. There's no single biblical rule governing how spouses of church leaders should dress. Instead, many social media critics point to the interpretations of 1 Timothy 2:9-10, which emphasizes respectable apparel and modesty as a guiding principle rather than a strict dress code. In practice, that often translates to informal standards, clothing that covers the shoulders, chest, and knees, fits that are tailored rather than tight, and fabrics that aren't transparent unless layered for full coverage. But these norms shift significantly depending on domination, culture, and context. Within Black church traditions, spouses, often referred to as first ladies, have long balanced fashion with holiness, sometimes embracing high fashion statements alongside more conservative silhouettes. Pentecostal and holiness movements tend to hold the strictest rules, while contemporary or non-dominational churches are often more relaxed. In Catholic and Episcopal settings, modest dresses or business casual attire are common, especially during formal services. Context matters too. Expectations are typically higher during worship services than at community events, hospital visits, or youth functions. And when a spouse is on stage, singing or speaking, hymnlines and silhouettes can be scrutinized more closely due to visibility. Still, Bryant's stance was clear and uncomplicated. The dress was appropriate for the event. He approved it, and the marriage, not the comment section, was the only audience that mattered. And a digital cultural quick to critique, the pastor's message landed as both a defense of his wife and a reminder, not every opinion concerns you. Now, hold on, I'm coming to you, Savannah. Let me just share screen again. And that is just the event that they was at there. And you see her address a little bit more there. And like he said, it was a new backing, not, see-through. All right. So Savannah, your thoughts?
So I'm of two minds here because I like the dress, but it's not appropriate for the event or the church ladies. What is it? She's a first lady. But I'm with Pastor Bryant. Mind your business. I really think like although she didn't read the room in the audience and that the dress wasn't proper for them, but she should be able to wear whatever she wants to wear. I think he was right. If her husband don't have an issue with it, I don't see why the public does. So I'm with Pastor Brian on this one. I didn't. I supported Megan Good when she did it, and I think this woman has the right to do it as well. I just think she didn't read the room.
Okay. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So here's the thing, okay? I ain't even finna sugarcoat it. Okay? Pastor Jamal didn't read the room. If you bought it, you trash. Okay? Let me tell you something. First of all, why would you want your wife to walk around like she looked like she finna go to the strip club event? Now, I'm a married man. I'm a married woman. My husband would not let me walk out the house with nothing like that on because my body is not supposed to be on display for everybody else's eyes. I'm not for sale. But you put her up there on center stage in that skin color like she was just all bare out, okay? She up there snickering and grinning like she looked like she done came down from the heavens above. It looked trash. As a pastor, have more decorum for yourself, more respect for yourself. And even if you butt hurt afterwards, don't come to us trying to criticize us because we see what you didn't see. Now, maybe you need to have a talk with Jesus, okay? I'm surprised some of them people didn't come up there and give her a shout to wrap her up in. She looked at trashy.
Katrina, your thoughts?
My thoughts is, wasn't Adam and Eve naked? Was they born with clothes, or did they put on fig leaves? The thing with me is, if she's not in church, she's at a function. She got this dress on. The dress is not nude. It's not see through. It's nude. The lady looked fine to me. The dress was fabulous, and she's not in church. She went to a function, and so by me being the first lady, that deters what I can wear and what I can't. This is my body, this is my thing, and I'm not saying that the people in the church should do this or whatsoever. But from what I understand, I see people coming in shirts. Most women weren't supposed to be wearing pants. They wear pants and stuff inside the church now. I mean, come on. Jesus said, "Come as you are." But the thing of it is, this is a grown woman. She wear what she want to wear. And if she's not in church, she's not out there, imposing this on anybody else, telling the church members to wear it, then all well and good. She can wear what she want to wear. And that's how I see it. I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all don't agree with it, but it wasn't no church function. It was a benefit or whatever they was doing. And then he right. Y'all talking about her dress, but you're not talking about the money that I'm raising for the schools. The lady can wear what she want to wear. That's all I got.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Well, Trump is raising money. He's the pedophile. On the other hand, since Jamal Bryant is not concerned about internet and social media, then you won't be concerned that I think you're garbage. I think your wife is garbage. She dressed like garbage. She'd give a high-class prostitute a run for her money. If you think that because she's at a function, she's not representing the Lord, so-called the Lord, that's bullshit. If you think she walking around there getting men excited, whether it's a not see-through or whatever, it's the flesh, it's meant to look like flesh. And she looked like garbage.
Whew.
I'm done.
Good gosh. Julius?
I'm of two minds on this. I was always told appearance is everything. And you always have to, no matter where you're at, you do have to be aware of your appearance. Now, she wasn't at the church, but I'm going to have to say, even though I wasn't ticked off by the dress, I did not like it. at the same time. And I was raised in a sense of, you cover your chest, your shoulders. I was raised in that era. And even though I understand where Pastor Jamal is coming from, and I respect his position, I have to disagree respectfully.
Ooh, Callie, your thoughts?
Okay, here's the thing. The dress was risque. And you getting up here trying to gaslight people into us feeling like we didn't see what we saw, and this is just a brown and black dress. And I didn't even like the pattern on the dress. To me was even risque. And I'm not a conservative person like that. What I don't like is the trying to gaslight people into thinking like, no, there's nothing sexy about this dress. What are you talking about? Mind your own business. No, this was a deliberately risque dress. I don't know why she would choose to wear that. Maybe that's just the way she dressed. I mean, she got the BBL and all of that. Like somebody else said, she kind of looks like she might have been a stripper. But that dress, she looked like a showgirl with that dress on. Like it wasn't like people are not crazy. But I also think that if you are a public figure, people are going to talk about you. People are going to comment on what you have on, especially if you're going to an event. That is just life. I don't really understand why you would expect people to say nothing. That really kind of makes me kind of look at him like, dude, are you okay? You getting a little narcissistic over there? Because why would you expect people to not say anything? You're a public figure and you guys are out at an event. People are going to comment on what you guys are wearing. That's just what people do with public figures. So I don't know what is going on with him. Both of them are a little strange to me because I cannot believe that nobody said, this dress might be a bit much. Like, dude, come on.
48.
Yeah, I think they're both attention seeking whores. I mean, the fact Jamal Bryant, isn't he the one that was with the lady from Potomac or something like that? Or am I getting it?
No, you got it
Oh,
right.
oh, so he just a straight up okay. So, yeah, his wife, he wanted her to wear it like he said, but a thing that makes me mad with especially ministers that are like in the public eye, they often say, "Don't judge me." And we're supposed to judge you. If we are believers, we're supposed to point out, like, hey, it's not supposed to be harsh or anything like that. But we're supposed to be like, hey, you might want to change that or address that. And like Callie said, it's kind of just his nature. And he needs to get thicker skin, like they saying in the chat. He is very sensitive to everything. And you don't have to respond to everything. But I think that he responds to everything because his spirit is contradicting itself. If he really believes what he's reading, you better believe that the spirit is messing with him and he probably can't help it.
Preach 48.
Felicia, your thoughts?
I tell you this panel's on fire tonight. Wow, is this what we getting in 2026? I'm loving it. Now look, I took a closer look at this picture. That I don't have a problem where she was and what she wore. I don't. She's a beautiful woman. I thought she was very well put together. The problem I had was when her husband used the pulpit to shame others into having a thought other than what he thought.
Come on now.
And he took it even further when he said, y'all are too petty and too jealous, and maybe you don't know this or that. Sir, don't be telling me what I know and don't know. Don't tell me my life experiences. Don't tell me what I've been exposed to and haven't been exposed to. I am really done with these women, particularly Black women, who continue to support these pimp pastors and their BS from the pulpit. And they're going to tell you what they're going to do with the money and what they're going to let so-and-so wear. And you dumb, ignorant, illiterate, you ain't been nowhere, blah, blah, blah. Put the money into the damn basket and shut your mouth. If there was a question, there was a question. He didn't have to insult, in my opinion, the congregation. He could have just very simply said, listen, I love that dress. I thought it was a great match for my wife and I. We went to a gala. We had a lovely time. I understand some of your concerns, but we were good with it. You didn't have to tell these people what they know and don't know. And then, of course, they show a clip of, the women hallelujahing and praising him. He's in the pulpit. He's supposed to be a representative of Christ. And then again, we can go back to, well, what would have Christ said? He probably said, girl, go ahead and wear the dress. Because when you talk about morality, you talk about ethics, you talk about values, it's not about a dress. It's about your heart, how you live, what you believe. A dress don't mean nothing, actually. But I thought you looked fabulous. But I'm really sorry that he felt he should disrespect his congregation behind all of that. So going forward, maybe they'll make different decisions. But I would not be a part of that church. I appreciate she prayed till heaven came down. Well, look, she could have sent it over here because I could have used some of that money, sister. Because then again, we're talking about these prosperity ministries. You got to know how they move. And this is the second time. What's her name? Who was up there? She was short a couple of dollars and got shamed and embarrassed. Stay away from these prosperity churches. They tend to not be into scripture. They're more into the values of what they say the dollar can do. I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I feel I'm feeling a lot of what everybody said on the panel. But again, my major problem was with him using the pulpit to reprimand the people. Like, I'm just like, sir, so you're not above any of the people that you're trying to come at. Talking about, oh, y'all never been nowhere. Y'all don't know nothing because they got an opinion. I just thought it was a poor choice to do it in the pulpit. I thought it was a poor choice coming from a pastor. And I get both sides of it. The dress had the illusion of it being flesh. And so when you're not close up, I've seen those dresses. And when you're not close up, it do appear like it's see-through. And then when you get up on it, you're like, oh, okay, you can see that it's like the flesh color or whatever the case may be. But I'll lean off of the dress and just stick on him. I think he was wrong as 2 left feet, and he's using the pulpit time to discuss that. But yet you're supposed to help people understand that when someone talks about them, that's not their problem. That's that person's problem. But you're not helping the people because here you are, someone was talking about your wife and you're addressing it. So you're not helping the people level up and raise up and rise up as a people of the church and the congregation because you can't even handle criticism. A hot, stinking, filthy, nasty mess. But anyway, I'll move into this last story, the school board member under fire. So let me share a screen. Hold on one second.
Faith and civic leaders are calling for accountability. This after a Clay County school board member made some controversial comments. Haji Abbas joins us live from Clay County. And Haji, you heard from some community leaders as well as a different member of the school board. Tell us more.
So what started as a Facebook Live video has turned into community outcry. Now, civic and faith leaders say today that an apology is not enough. And today they made their message clear.
When an elected official speaks with such broad condemnation of an entire community, it sends a harmful message.
It was a full house at St. James AME Church Wednesday morning as faith leaders and community members called for the resignation of Clay County School Board member Robert Alvaro.
But that's the 20% of the people I have met, the African Americans. The other 80%, they're being nasty, they're being rude, they're being problematic.
Community leaders say those comments Alvaro made about his interactions with the African American community were not only offensive, but damaging.
Implicit bias, whether spoken aloud or quietly acted upon, cannot be tolerated in our schools.
Clay County School Board member Beth Clark says she was shocked when she first heard Alvaro's remarks earlier this month.
Appalled is probably the best way to say it to begin with. I mean, I guess Forrest Gump said it best, you can't fix stupid. You don't paint somebody by the pigmentation in their skin.
Reverend Jeffrey Dove says Clark's attendance at the press conference spoke volumes and sent a clear message condemning Alvaro's remarks.
You were the first person to respond to my email. You've always been nice, but you showing up today, Bishop just said, was the icing on the cake.
Alvaro has since retained Lake County Attorney Anthony Sabatini, who called the backlash political. In a statement to First Coast News, Sabatini said school board member Alvaro is a selfless public servant who won his election in a landslide and is widely supported in Clay County. These radical Democratic political activists who seek to eliminate his First Amendment rights are out of step with people in Clay County. Under Florida law, the governor is the only one with authority who can remove a school board member from office.
We cannot ask for his resignation in the sense that he is an elected official. He should have been vetted better by his party. We could do probably a vote of no confidence, but I don't think Clay County has run into this before.
And the next Clay County School Board meeting is set for January 8th, and the State Education Commissioner has asked Alvaro to appear before the state board, but his attorney says he won't be doing that. Live in Clay County, Hajabah, First Coast News, on your side.
He said, no, thank you. I'm not doing that. Hold on, let me share screen again. So Clay school board member Robert Alvaro under fire after saying most Black people are nasty and rude. Alvaro also endorsed Nick Fuentes, saying he believed everyone is racist to some degree. Clay County School Board member Robert is getting ripped for recent racially charged comments disparaging Black people and is going to have to answer for them next year in front of a statewide audience. I am requiring him to appear before the State Board of Education at their meeting in January to explain this conduct. School board members have a responsibility to represent all students and families and uphold the professionalism due of an elected official, wrote Commissioner of Education on Monday. Robert, a first-generation Cuban immigrant who arrived in the U.S. in 2008, has worked as a firefighter in Jacksonville and a member of Florida State Guard before being elected to Clay County School Board last year. In a recent video, Alvaro insisted he has had 80% more negative experiences with the African American community in this country than with white people. 80%. They've been nasty. They've been rude. They've been problematic, always trying to fight, disrespecting, Robert said in comments first reported by Clay News and Views. When Robert says he now regrets the wrong and offensive comments, he's under pressure to resign from Clay County Republicans, including school board chair Misty Skipper and state legislators. I listened to these comments by Clay County School Board member, Mr. Robert, with the heaviest heart. They are beyond the pale and unfitting of his position of public trust with our children. As school board chair Skipper stated, he should resign, said Senator Jennifer Bradley on Monday. Hold on one second, guys. House Speaker designate Sam Garrison is also calling for Robert to step down. The Clay County Republican Executive Board issued a statement saying Robert should step down immediately due to extremely disappointing and hurtful remarks. As of Monday morning, Robert is hoping this blows over. While I faced some negative interactions, including being called names and even physically assaulted, I also met many good, decent people, some of whom remain my friends today, he said. I want to clarify that these experiences are personal and not meant to generalize. It was an attempt to say people's character is not defined by their visual characteristics, life experiences, or socioeconomical standards. We as people are divisive, and through the best of my ability, I was trying to point out how people can judge each other while I'm not seeing both sides and have stereotypes of a whole group. are not accurate. The school board next meets in January. If Robert has not resigned by then, Skipper vows his comments will be addressed appropriately. His resignation will not preclude his appearance before the State Board of Education, though. Savannah, your thoughts?
Not surprised that this is in Florida for sure. And unfortunately, because he is in a state where the government leaders in position now also feel the same way that he does, I don't think that he will lose his position unless the people actually, step up and kick him out. But I don't think that the governor or even Brian Scott will push him out. So there's always been a hidden underlying tension, racial tension between Cuban Americans and the African American population in Florida, where Cuban Americans feel a sense of superiority, whether it's for socially or economically. They always feel that they are above African Americans, and they clearly, they outright hate Puerto Ricans. Then, so we Puerto Ricans get it worse from the Cuban American population in South Florida. I don't know why this official is. He just seems so tone deaf to me and doesn't understand that his words they have an effect in your community, in your social circles and neighborhood, and how it's going to contribute to your election and being able to pass. I mean, because he's a school board member, so even being able to operate in those realms, it's going to be significant for any type of political or social change with this elected official and his right out hatred and racism. And now people just feel like they can record and post on social media and not be held accountable for their actions. I've always said that the good thing about Donald Trump being elected is because people are now feeling emboldened to show their true selves, and they take their mask off, and we know who you are now. And I think that's been the upside of this administration. So the people in this community have some work to do in order to get this man voted out. Because I don't think the elected officials are going to remove him from his position. And that's unfortunate.
Thank you, Savannah. In my opinion?
So I'm going to be honest, okay? I ain't like the comment whatsoever. He meant it to be nasty because he didn't say how many white people was nasty. He didn't say how many Asian people was nasty. He didn't say none of that. He just singled it out to black people. And that lets me know you have an attack on the black community. You've not met everybody black to know what the percentage is of how many people are nasty. So for you to give out this, that's false information. And as a school board leader, you should be held accountable for your actions, your words. I don't think he can objectively stay in his position because he's already discriminated against them people before he's even met them. They're just nasty. Now, my only other concern is why this is not affecting and why it's not an outrage in this community that elected him. I want to see some change.orgs to get him booted out, not only out of the school board, but out of the country. Okay? Since Donald Trump want to deport everybody, let's deport these people that mean us no good. Okay? He's an elected official that's got his eye on the black community only. He didn't single out no other race, but it's the black community. We all nasty and we all evil. So if we all nasty and we all evil, all of us together should get together as a collective, do a change.org to have him removed and to have him booted out of our country. Because we are Americans. We were born here and we serve here. So, sir, now we want you gone too. And you could take Nicki Minaj with you.
Oh my God. All right. Callie, your thoughts?
I agree 100%. My sentiments exactly. You came to our country. Our ancestors built this country. The economy in this country that you want to be here for only exists because of our ancestors. This is the issue that this is a common issue. This is not a one-off thing. We had something that happened here when I think it was like a city council or a congresswoman or something. Same thing. We have a lot of people coming into this country that did not go through any type of a civil rights movement, nothing like that. They are coming here with the mindset of a person from the 1950s, and they are bringing, in my opinion, a lot of hatred and racism toward us, and they are getting in positions of power, and nobody is checking this. These are the same people that are sitting on boards arguing, saying that we shouldn't get reparations because they wasn't here and they ain't do nothing to us. So since they here now, we can't get reparations. It's just like this nonsensical stuff that makes no sense. And I would, in my opinion, let's just see if we can get him up out of here, period. Not just out of that position. You came here from a whole nother country. And you saying that us, the people that have been here since before the country was here, if not forever, you got a problem with us? Well, then you shouldn't be here. I got a great solution for you. You can go back to Cuba or wherever you're from. I really think that we should be keeping a little bit better eye on these people. And this is why I don't like the younger version of him running around using the N-word and saying, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Because these are their parents. So, yeah, this is a problem. This is a problem that nobody wants to address because they are, to me, distracted with things that have nothing to do with us.
Thank you, Callie. Wayne, your thoughts?
This man's just tap dancing for Trump. He talking Trump's language. And his supporters, you think they care what he said? They probably agree with him. And this man is not thinking twice about quitting his job with that Trump train behind him. Y'all can forget about that. That's it.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
I agree with all that has been said. But he's saying the quiet part out loud. And I believe with this year being the year of the horse, we're seeing character, a person's character, and what they stand for and how they truly operate. We already went through the cycle of exposure. Now we're seeing the character. And we've seen this person's core character. And like in my opinion said, since he wants to deport people, he could be one of the ones deported.
Felicia, your thoughts?
Thank you, Diva. So I was doing some quick research. Looks like this gentleman's salary is pretty nice. It's definitely in the six figures. Okay, so no, he's not going to voluntarily resign his position because he only spoke what he believes. I looked at the demographics there in that county. So it's well over 70% white Caucasian. And there's a small percentage of Blacks. I don't know. They didn't break out the demographics that I was able to read. of about 11%. And then maybe the Asian community is about 2-3%. And the Latino community is only about 4-5%. So I'm gathering that this gentleman, what's his name, Alero, identifies as a white Cuban. And they can often be some of the worst critics and judgment of others. And the fact that he came out and said he completely supports Nick Fuentes, wow, that's a dangerous move. Nick Fuentes is someone to be concerned about in his ideology and the movement that he has behind him. So I think collectively, maybe they'll get him to calm down, be a little bit more humble until he can rise up again. But I don't think people should be surprised or offended that someone would say something so cruel and baseless about Black people. That's where, and that's how it's been for the beginning of time. I understand that the country is celebrating 250 years of alleged freedom, but we collectively are celebrating or are in the mix of 500 years of oppression. And I think we're going to have to make a decision. Those of us who identify as foundational Black Americans or the descendants of enslaved Africans, we're going to have to make a decision how we're going to move going forward. But I think his affiliation with Nick Fuentes is the most dangerous piece here. I'm done.
48.
Yeah, Diva. I'm agreeing with Callie, Miss Felicia, pretty much everybody. It's irritating to me that foreigners that have his like mindset come to this country and think that America started when they got here. And America was built before they got here, and what you would consider America, the people, we were already here. And it's so disrespectful. But I think that when he says rude and all of that we are, he takes our delineation and foundational Black Americans standing on business. That's what he takes that as rude and all of that, because now we are standing on business. You're gonna respect our house. And if you not, we got petitions to get you up out of here. And I hope that his papers ain't right, because I really want him deported too. Anybody that is speaking against Black Americans, you can have you can have your opinion, but when you get up on a camera or on national TV and you're speaking against the people that made America the America that you dream about, you need to get the hell up out of here. You, your kids, your grandma, I don't care how long you've been here, all of y'all need to get up out of here. You should have taught your kids the truth. Now they're mad because we telling them to stand, hold your own, hold your own NUTs. Hold them yourself. We're nobody's savior like they want to tell them to send their kids to us. Well, don't send your baby to me. Don't send your baby to me.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Yes, like he probably saying that so Trump would give him some legal papers to stay here. I mean, we got to look at it this way. We got the president of the United States calling Haitians a shithole country, or they eating your pets, they eating your cats and your dogs. So you honestly think he's gonna try to send this man away when he's making that much money that can give him money, especially in Florida? He ain't finna send him nowhere. But I would say this: Desi Arnaz, wake up and come get your brother and take him where you at. That's all I got.
Woo. Listen, y'all, it's a lot going on, but they say he gonna have to face the music in the meeting that's gonna occur this month. I don't know what day it's gonna happen, but it's happening. But he was wild. But it always just kills me how people are just so free to come out their mouth, especially when you're in a certain position. There's some things you should keep behind closed doors. When you're in certain positions, you shouldn't be on social media just loosey goosey running your mouth. It's just crazy.
Hey,
So now he got faced. Wait, give me 1 second. And he backtracked. He backtracked on his words. He said, "No, I ain't mean it like that." And he was just hoping this whole thing to blow over. Go ahead, 48. Did you want to say something?
No, I was about to say that what you just said, and the fact that he backtracked, like you already caught. You already caught, and it's so frustrating, man. And like all of the things that our country does for other people, we are the culture of this freaking world. And when people say, well, they're hard workers, so are we. And we're still fighting for stuff that shouldn't be fought for. And let's take Black Americans just personally out and put all Americans, okay? I don't think that it's right that American kids can't go to the doctors and just have stuff covered. But we have organizations for people that are not in our country who act like they come here with absolutely nothing and they get handouts. I'm tired of that. Nobody should come before the American people, and nobody should come to this country speaking crap about the people who made this country the country that they fled to, swam to, jumped the border across, all of that. Now, everything coming out about them being thieves and scammers, and not all of them. But since you want to put all of us in a generalized group, now Black Americans are putting y'all in a generalized group. He mad because of how we standing, and they standing on business in Florida. Yeah, they might have a bigger population than the Black American population, but those Black Americans in Florida are standing on business. And if they don't get them out, I hope the Democratic or whoever come in next will continue the deportation train, because I think every American who loved this country, even with its flaws, whose people bled here, who want to assimilate and believe what we believe, they're going to get his ass up out of there.
I think he's gonna have a run for his money. I think he thought he was going to talk his way out of this one, but I don't think it's gonna go down that easy. I'm gonna stay connected to that particular story. Jamal Bryant needs to realize his position and get his life together and stop wearing everything, your heart on your sleeve. You love your wife, and that's fine, but you're a pastor. And you shouldn't be using the pulpit to address an outfit that your wife wore. If y'all good with it, y'all be good with it. Y'all good and grown too. But he ain't young. He's not a young pastor. He's good and grown. Get your whole life together. And Oprah, I'm sorry, not sorry, but I won't be purchasing the book. and I ain't got nothing against Oprah, but I need her to get it together too. Write a book on how to love thyself. You accomplished a whole lot, Oprah, and there has not been anybody in the talk show realm that has accomplished what Oprah has accomplished yet. So, girl, look in the mirror, because you don't even know it. You that girl, whether you 200 pounds, 300 pounds, or 150 pounds. And even on this weight loss drug, I don't know if y'all caught it when I read the article, she's still not ready, because they said she didn't want to say what her rate is now. So you're saying that you're telling us, and you wrote a whole book, how you feel so much better because you're taking these drugs and now you exercising 6 days a week and you're supposed to be in love with yourself now, but you still refuse to tell the people in the People article what your rate is. She still ain't ready. She still ain't ready because she's still feeling like she ain't enough. Even with her trimmed down self, still being able to eat she ate her whole croissant and wasn't worried about it. She's working out 6 days a week. But when they asked her how much you weigh, off the limits. Felicia, you want to say something?
Yeah, before we go out, she's 40 years unhappy and 40 years a liar, and I'm sick of her ish. I'm done. Okay? Don't buy the book. Don't even read it. Eat all the croissants you want. Her life is a lie. That's it. I'm done.
Listen, and people, do me a favor. Be respectful in the chat. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. And that's what makes this world beautiful, when everybody has their own opinion about the stories that we are talking about. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. If y'all ain't hit that like button on the way in, do the Diva favor, hit the like button on the way out. If you have just been hanging out with me and you haven't subscribed yet, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button because this is my year, 2026, 100K subscribers, period. Thank you guys for being here. See you next time. Good night and goodbye, everybody, and Happy New Year. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo, the New Year.